Meeting with a report from Dan Sigler, our county attorney.
Okay, not a lot to report. A couple of things. We're still waiting on that census issue. We're trying to resolve that. The issue on Diamond Street, we're still waiting to hear on that. I'm told this week is the week the attorney's back, so hopefully I'll have a report next time. But that's, that's really all. We got the greater thing, which I've approved, that purchase contract, and the gas co-op contract, I would approve that. So I think that's all. There's that thing about the sheriff, but that's, we'll hold that for executive session. We won't bring it up now. We won't talk about that.
Okay.
Okay.
You know we hired someone.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, I've already had a discussion with him, and we're kind of starting to work together to, he's a lot smarter than me, so that's a good thing. That's an upgrade for you.
I wouldn't touch that one.
I didn't say a word.
No.
I thought I said before anybody here did.
Well, thank you, Dan, we appreciate it.
Okay.
Tom, did you have anything for Dan?
No.
Don?
Thanks for coming.
Watch off easy today.
Yeah, you lucky duck.
How can I make a living? I don't know.
Brandon, you've got that mutual agreement, right? Okay, and it's been approved.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay, first one on the agenda is Sheriff Gatton, additional funds request for the wrecked car.
E-wrecked car or a wrecked car?
The wrecked car on
Doesn't
December
say.
31st. Okay, after several months of going back and forth with the insurance company, Travelers, Jana said she received the check today, actually, for the wrecked car that took place on December 31st of 16. I'm looking for recommendations from you guys and letting you know that with the damaged equipment and the car price that they paid off, $4,902.44 away from a purchase of a 17 Dodge Charger, which is $24,777. On top of that money, I'll have to find money to fund the damaged equipment that was in it and probably some of the installation. Even though they paid some of that in the insurance check, the whole total back was $19,874.56. So I'm just looking for some guidance if you guys. The spare car we currently have that the officer was driving when his was wrecked, the transmission went out on it last week, so. That's a 12.
Have you investigated Segways?
No, sir.
With roll bars?
Well, there's no other option but to get the thing replaced. So why do you even ask?
Well, I'm just looking for maybe some recommendations on where you should think I should ask or where the money might come from.
Sheriff's pension fund. How about
I was
that?
thinking commissary.
As long as he was asking.
I was thinking commissary, but,
Well, that's probably where I'll have to spend to buy the additional equipment and labor for it.
Have you got a figure on you gave us for the new car.
The new car.
What about the additional equipment damage installation? You got a figure?
Roughly between, realistically, would be $3,000 to $3,500.
So that makes it 27 something.
If you had the car, yeah,
Yeah.
the equipment with.
now that,
So it's a net 7 or 8, somewhere in there. A net 7 or 8 after to check.
After the check, realistically, yeah, 7,800 to probably 8,000 or something, yeah.
Have we already paid the deductible then?
Yes.
So they took that out, I
They took
think,
it out.
prior to the check coming.
okay, so now the extra equipment, okay, you're going 3,500. Is that equipment or is that installed?
That should be both of them.
Because
We did, there was some,
traditionally, it costs us $7,000 per car.
yeah, we have some of the equipment was salvaged and we got to keep. The
Okay.
damaged equipment.
So it's
is
about
what they
half of
paid.
what we normally pay.
Correct.
For, okay. Okay.
Well, something like this, what about the rainy day fund?
I was thinking cume cap or,
Oh, I'm just asking.
yeah, either one of those would be,
My personal opinion, well, there's a meeting tomorrow, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just make a motion, we give a favorable pass to the council to provide funding to get him a new car.
And I
Since it's
second.
tomorrow,
That's what we're, yep.
since it's tomorrow, you
And
know.
they can figure it out.
Yeah, they can
Is
figure
that
it
a
out.
motion?
That's a motion, I'm sorry.
Okay, we've got a motion to do a favorable pass to replacement cost for the wrecked car. We've got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Thank you.
Okay, but
Is that all?
That's it.
That was too easy, Mark.
That's, wait for the other matter. We'll call you when that comes up.
Okay, well, I'll go talk to DJ.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have Scott Wagner for well exemption.
Sorry I couldn't get to you the paperwork before today. I was out last week with my father's
I thought I
knee
lost it.
replacement.
Oh, was it?
Have a representative from Lansing Home here for the homeowner. This is a tear down and a rebuild of a new home in Thorn Creek Township on the lake. And they will be closer than 10 feet to the existing well that's there. You can see the letter from Wheelers, see a drawing there that you have, as well as the existing well permit. They'll sign a covenant to hold harmless for the commissioners and a well exemption release for the health department, and have that recorded to the deed if you approve it.
Based on the information given in the letter from Crystal Wheeler, I make a motion, we approve the exemption.
Second.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the well exemption for closer than 10 feet. Got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Thank you. Just had something else I thought you extra since we're here. Mr. Downing at Quessy gave this to me a couple weeks ago. Now that the project is complete, he wanted to let us know that this is an expense he incurred when the basement was flooded and it corroded the switch for the well pump. I brought this up to George. He said just bring it to the commission next time we came together. As far as I know, everything's been connected. It should be draining well. Mr. Shota, who's the resident of the home now, had Mr. Wydrick come out and take a look at the basement because he still was getting some water in there. But that is a separate issue. It has nothing to do with us.
Yeah, I think we've met our
I think so.
requirements. This isn't a bad bill. I think it's a pretty reasonable bill, but I wouldn't pay more than half of it, because this is also somewhat of a maintenance item.
Sure.
I wouldn't, I mean, it's a reasonable bill, I don't have a problem, I think it's a very reasonable price, but if I were to make a motion, it would be for $81.20, so I'll make that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve $81.20. 22.5 cents.
Okay, he's got check my math here, which is really a good idea.
7122.
Well, you're right, I was off, oh my goodness.
Okay, we're looking at a reimbursement of $71.22 to Corbin Well Drilling for Mr. Downing at Quessy site.
Or is it already been paid, so it goes to the Downings?
Right, correct.
Okay,
Carl.
go to the Downings then. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Jana has the original there. I just want to let you know that the State Department of Health has offered counties naloxone kits for distribution having classes and teaching people who receive those kits how to use them. The staff will not be carrying them or using them on people. We applied for that through Dr. Hatcher and received 20 for the next 2 quarters, 20 kits. And so our RNs will be teaching a class for those, and people can sign up for those classes and that once they're instructed, they'll receive the kits.
Who are they going to?
It can be to anybody in the public.
Oh, these aren't for first responders?
They're not. State law allows persons to have these, so anybody that may be a family member of a past user or current user who's worried about overdosing can come in, get trained, and receive that.
But they gotta be certified to receive one, or have the
Right, they have to
training.
go through the training and sign a certificate and liability release and all that good stuff.
Scott, how do we let the right individuals know that that's available? That's kind of what my thought is on it.
Obviously, we do a press release on that, but I think we're going to probably target maybe through the sheriff's department or over at the hospital. Dr. Hatcher will handle all that, publicity on that, and be the spokesperson for that.
I think you need to get the EMS involved.
Okay.
They're kind of, I mean, as well as the sheriff, I'm just saying, they're the ones that have the need
Right.
for it. They're the ones who could say to the family, go to the health department.
Right.
So,
Isn't that something that's needed right away, though? I mean,
Well, they would have,
Yeah,
I think
but-
Don was talking about names rather than,
how do you get to the people?
Okay.
I think a good source is the EMS, because they're there, they see the people. I know where I could drive to right now, or could right now, and say, here, you need to keep this handy. So, but you've got to be trained. You just have to be trained. I was hesitant to have the
Sheriff's Department, I mean, the probation.
probation, you know? I just, training is,
We'll make sure that we involve law enforcement and EMS in that training as well.
and this is the nasal spray, this,
Correct.
okay.
that's good. That's good. But they got to be breathing.
Right, and that, basically, they sign the liability from the government and the health department once they receive those kits. And what they do with that, that's,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Oh, Scott, on the Quessy, the hookup for Mr. Downing, everything go okay after?
I talked with Mr. Wygant, he said it all has good fall, there's not any issues that I'm aware of. Have not heard anything from the school corporation, whether anything happened with that. Should be connected well, I don't see any issues with
I
it.
talked to Dr. O'Connor, and she was okay with that, hold harmless. I think Dan had to come up with some different language on it, but
John wanted to add just some appropriate language, so I agreed. He told me what it was, and we inserted that in and everything.
I have not
should be
received a
good.
bill yet,
Yeah.
so, okay, does me.
I just had one more comment on naloxone. I saw this quote the other day, and I'm going to butcher it. I'm going to paraphrase it, but it was, people who desperately need EpiPens are paying hundreds of dollars for EpiPens, and we're just giving naloxone away every day. And it just seems that, there just seems to be something wrong with that entire,
scenario.
yeah. Opioid overdoses, and we're just giving away to them, so.
Thank you.
thanks again, Scott. Mr. Forrester, Highway Director and County Engineer, Highway update.
First on my list is what is now Resolution 2017-04, which is a resolution approving the purchase and transfer of a wheeled Gradall excavator from LaGrange County. LaGrange County Public's interest is purchasing a new Gradall, $370,000, and they are agreeing to sell us their used one for $20,000. Need of a piece of equipment because ours has almost here. So it's a win-win. They were only going to get 11,000 on a trade-in. We're giving them 20. So I reviewed this resolution that was written by their county attorney, and there is also a waiver of a second reading. And then the resolution provides for the board to delegate the chairman to sign basically this bill of sale.
Repeat that resolution number.
2017-04.
I move we approve it.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second for approval of the, is it a mutual agreement, is that what that is?
I believe they called it a reciprocal resolution, because there is a mirrored
At
resolution.
the
that
same
they
time,
will
they're
be
doing it in
signing.
LaGrange.
Okay, and attach documents to that then. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same?
And I think it gives you you'll be the
Yes.
signer.
Right.
I need 2 signatures from each of you and 3 from you.
Okay.
If you want to,
Do,
and 2 from you.
we do not have to prove that, whatever the terminology is, about the second reading.
The waiving the second reading, was that included in the original motion, or is that new?
I think that can be part of the original motion.
It's in the agreement.
Yeah, it's in the
It's just-
agreement. You don't, yeah, you don't have anything else for me, do you, Brandon?
I do not.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks. Good to see you. Hey, you're welcome. I haven't done it yet. I gotta remember. Between here and there.
By the way, what we talked about was okay. I talked to Pam on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, super, thanks.
What, .25 on billable hours?
He's just picking up where the other one left off, isn't he?
Yeah, I know, it's the chair. The Russians have
Or
put
the
needles
name.
up through that chair.
Real quick, we had a meeting last week or the week before over in Fort Wayne with interest, it was a preliminary utility relocation meeting for the Liberty Mills 900 South County Line project, so that is moving forward.
What, is there any timetable set on that yet?
Right now, if everything stays on target, it's to be let in October of this year. So they'll
Will construction wait till spring then, or will it
They'll
start?
probably do clearing, or at least clearing a right of way and, you know, whatever they can. Some work will be able to,
Is most of that site work in Whitley County?
I'll say,
That's a
there's a
tough
lot of it.
That's a tough question, but yeah, sort
It'd be
of.
the- Yeah,
And Ken
this-
Kaufman's field
Yeah.
is one
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
And,
But that's
But
gonna
there's-
take most of the,
but there's utilities, because all the utilities will, the storm drainage at least, will flow to the north to the open ditch for that, where that bridge is we just replaced. So there will be some clearing and utilities on the northeast quadrant, which is woods.
Yeah. And I think it's been decided that the cemetery is not in any part of this.
Correct.
Okay.
There will be no conflict with the cemetery, because everything moves south.
That was, yep. Yep, that's good.
Tomorrow and Wednesday, I'll be at road school.
Oh, good for you.
I'm working with Jana, getting started, working with Jana on the funding for the Community Crossings Grant Program. I've done some office work. We're geared up to do field work as far as Paiser ratings for the roads. But I don't want to wait until all that work's done and then start with the funding. So I've got, as far as I know, one question for State Board of Accounts, and that's, do we have to have the money in our account, or can we use money that we've pledged by budgeting towards the grant match? That's the big thing, but we're working on that.
Last year, we got a pittance, you know,
Well,
where
yeah.
everybody got millions, we got a pittance. Now,
Yeah.
was that money ever put aside, or did we just use it for regular?
75% of that money is in a special fund, and the other 25% is in rainy day.
Any day, that's right, that's right, that's the way that read, okay.
So I'm hopeful that we can commit budgeted money towards our match, because we could get up to $1 million, we don't have $1 million just laying around.
I applaud you for
waiting to be
even
spent.
going for it, thank you.
We, as part of better communication, when we're working on projects, we made up some little door hangers to let people know whether we're chip sealing or replacing their culverts, sometimes it's hard to get a hold of people. So we've got, some contact information. I found something similar in the office. I found one in the office, and so it's not our idea, but we are trying to improve our communication with our citizens, especially when we're working on their roads. There is a county safety committee, but we've kind of formed an unofficial in-house, in-department safety committee. We got 4 of our employees that we handpicked for whatever reason, and we've found some missing or poor condition fire extinguishers, got those replaced. We've with the bucket truck and other issues, we've purchased some other safety equipment, hard hats and vests and coats, and we're working on getting some more signage for road projects that we're working on, flagger signs and things like that. So trying to improve our exposure in that regard.
Will one of your committee members
Yes,
still represent you? So
yes, that is Joe.
Everybody.
Joe's the
Yeah.
common denominator there.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yep.
Good.
Brandon,
I applaud you for that one. That's good. That's a good move.
on any specific training, are you keeping track of the training?
We are,
documents?
yes.
If you could send those to me, if I send those to our insurance, we could look at reducing rates even.
Yes,
So for proper training with our highway
yes.
drivers, so that would be great, yes.
Yeah, we recently, we selected 3 individuals to do some training, bucket truck training, and I think
Good.
we did get you that, or
I got
not.
that one, I
Okay.
did, yep.
Yeah, definitely. We made a training, or we got a training log sheet, and yes, we will
Great.
definitely keep that as part of the official record. And then finally, for me, it is March of 2017, which is our compliance month. I need to get started on the new bridge inspection procedure, which they tell us to start a year before you need it, because it's going to take a signature from the Attorney General and everything in between here and there. So the first step is to submit a RFP, request for proposals. So my question to the commissioners is, do you want to be a part of a review committee to review all the proposals that come in, because they have to be scored? The other option is I can do that. That's historically, other than one time, the last time we had a small committee, but I'm willing to take one for the team if you guys want to just let me handle that, or we can have a committee.
I would be willing to help, but the last time you did a great job on it, and I never had any issues with it. I've been on the committee before. It's very involved, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
It really is very involved, and this is just to pick
Just
the
to pick
vendor, right?
the first consultant that
Yeah.
you then
Yeah.
have to go, right.
Yeah. So I'm perfectly fine with him doing it, but I will be glad to help if you feel you.
I move Brandon takes one for the
Second.
team.
We got a motion to approve Brandon to do the scoring for the bridge inspection. We've got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same.
And I will obviously keep you informed along the way. And,
Fine.
That's all we need.
you know.
Yeah, yep.
All right, well, that's about all I've got. If anybody's got questions, comments for me. Did we get that pothole on 350 fixed for you?
I don't know, haven't been down that road.
Okay, well, I passed the word on. That's all I can do, short of
I'll
patching it
check it on the
myself.
way home.
Okay.
Thank you, Brandon.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, has everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes?
Absolutely. Yours is like this. I think mine's fine. I mean,
I didn't find any issues.
no, and when I got to here, it flowed right over to here, so it's how you download it from the thing. It's hard to remember. Go ahead,
I move we approve them as presented.
second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the minutes as presented. We have a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same. Thank you.
First motion. God.
Okay, let's take a look at the claims.
George, you know.
Before we get there, I will do the claims on the 17th of March.
Tom and I took a look at the claims, and I don't think we came up with anything that really jumped out at us. Everything, the claims were really pretty sparse compared to what it normally was.
I did have the opportunity to go through what Tamala sent, and I think we got 2.6 twice maybe, or because lands, lakes and woods, woods, lands, lakes. I saw a payment on there to them. Well, I already had those in a previous claim, but it could have been that timeline, because this was dated 2/6, which is a month ago. So
Okay.
all I'm saying is it struck me odd that we had the 2/6 claims in there,
Yeah.
because I think we already approved those claims, so,
Forgot about it.
okay. That's all I saw that I wondered about.
Okay,
I move we approve them.
Second.
got a motion to approve the claims, got a second, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same.
Did you want to do the payroll claims as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
But we had a couple questions, and Jan come in and saved us.
That's what usually can happen, 'cause usually you just get your answers right away. I'd make a motion that we approve the payroll claims.
Got a motion to approve payroll claims,
Second.
got a second, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand, opposed, the same. Thank you. And then have we got the ones for Council on Aging, or is that's just quarterly, isn't it?
That's just quarterly.
Quarterly.
Mhm.
So how is that physically gonna work? Is she going to give us the claims?
Yes, the way that the State Board of Accounts explained it to me is she needs to come up with her entire packet with the supporting documentation that she fills out for
Yep.
her voucher.
Yep.
She presents it to you at your meeting, and the chair signs it. You
We'll
approve
get
it
to
and sign
review
it.
them though before the meeting,
I
right?
just said, I would hope that
Yes.
she'd bring it before.
Bring it
the
Well,
forward.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah,
Right.
okay. Okay.
Pam?
I just have a couple things real quick. Under our equal employment opportunity policy, for the EEOC commission, and in order for us to maintain compliance, which I think you guys knew this was coming, under our equal employment opportunity, where it prohibits discrimination in employment on the basis of race, color, gender, national origin, religion, age, military status, disability, we need to add sexual orientation and gender identification.
Now, who gets to make that determination then?
Yeah, who does the identification?
I don't know the
Tom and
answer.
I, we,
I'm not gonna answer that one.
I'll make a motion that we approve 1.5 equal employment opportunity.
Got a motion to approve 1.5 policy on equal employment opportunity.
The second.
Got a second. Any further discussions? Those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Thank you. One more here. This one's just as easy to, you keep one, yeah.
Okay, you keep it.
Yeah. There's one for Jan here too. This was actually taken to the Personnel Committee last week. Our new PTO policy that we put in place January 1. We actually had an issue with the very first page, page 1, where it was under PTO earned. If you look at the first copy there, it says hours per prorated for PTO after introductory period. We had a little bit of an issue with introductory period because our introductory period in our book is set at 6 months. But the purpose of the PTO was to, for the group and the committee was to have it start right away. So we had to change the verbiage on page 2, on the next page. If you look at the highlighted information, it says hours prorated upon hire. And that's what the committee voted on and did want in the policy. So we had an error there that we had to change.
Well, Pam, I think that's fine, but maybe. I don't, the term introductory period, I've actually never heard of, okay?
Okay?
But we have the right to terminate them in how many days? 90 days, 60 days?
That's probationary.
That's
period.
probation.
What is the probationary period?
Probationary period and introductory period are the same in this booklet, always has been. So yes, as of that
They're both
6-month
6
period,
months?
we have the right to.
So should we decide they're not doing the job and they're not gonna fit for us, we are gonna have to pay them PTO then?
No, that depends on the justification for fire. If it's for just cause, then no, there is no payout at all, per the policy, per this policy. Yeah.
Well, this is a lot cleaner, I think, isn't it? This is a lot cleaner. I like
It
it.
is, yeah.
I'd make a motion that we approve the policy 4.2 paid time off policy.
Second it.
Okay, I've got a motion to amend the policy 4.2, which is the paid time off. You got a second? Any further discussions? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same.
Thank you, gentlemen, that's all I had. I know, flying through.
Jana?
Okay, for me, I can officially report that State Board of Accounts is complete, they've completed their 14 and 15 audits.
15 also?
14 and
Yeah,
15.
14, 15.
They are on it.
So yes,
Yeah.
we'll have our exit interview next Thursday, right? Or,
The 16th.
yes, next Thursday.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's exciting stuff, so.
Good
And
job.
then-
Yeah, great job.
Thanks.
Great job. It couldn't have been easy.
No, it was definitely kept me busy, but,
It's always harrowing when they're around. I mean, it just is. It just is.
yeah. And then the other thing is, I have a right-of-way permit, from, I believe it is from CenturyLink, yes, and Brandon has already reviewed it and approved it, so.
This is County Road North, 650 West in Larwill. So, between pedestals 2 and 3.
Sounds like a Western thing to me, doesn't it?
Do we have to prove this?
Yeah.
Well, I move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion to approve the CenturyLink proposal. Got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor raise your right hand, opposed the same.
We usually go by Brandon said it's okay.
Yeah,
We say
so,
it's okay.
And that was it for me.
This will be the shortest.
we need to discuss this IGS thing.
Yep.
Would I miss one?
There'll always be 3 of them.
That's it for Jana. Tom, do you have anything?
No, well, maybe, is this a good time for this?
Yep.
I listened to a short presentation by
Tom, thank you.
Tom Payne. I remember that this morning from this IGS Energy thing. That the government, you know, we've had a contract with them for the last 3 years. It's time to renew it. He says we're saving a little bit of money by going through them for our natural gas purchases. Whether we are or not, we're making them some money. I just need to, I'd like to hear the rest, some more opinions. I don't think you're not talking about a lot of money, whether we participate with them or buy it straight from NIPSCO. Since the natural gas market's not volatile, and it doesn't seem like in the foreseeable future it's gonna be. So, I guess I'm leaning on the other two for an opinion.
We've been with them now for a few years.
Is it probably 6, at least?
You reckon? Okay, it's been a while. I just would love to see some documentation somewhere that would absolutely show, had we just purchased the gas from NIPSCO, what the cost savings would have been.
And I think
It's
that's
all-
what this
You
is.
think that's what that is?
What
All right.
this
You're on
is,
page 1,
Yep.
hedged summary?
yeah.
Okay,
Like, November 16th of, November of 16, the savings would have been $1,000.
okay.
And then December, January 17. And that is what they're telling us the savings is.
Yeah.
And they do hedge it, and they are saving us a little money.
Yeah.
Well, see, to me, that's a lot of money.
Well, not according to our gas bill, it's pennies, I mean, percentage-wise.
No, I got you,
Yeah.
but this is 5 months, $7,400.
Right.
That's kind of a lot of money for us. But I just, we're getting the information from them, and I guess, and I don't know where we get the information from otherwise, so.
But they are hedging it, and
And
in
that's
the
simply-
non-volatile gas market now, they're looking at saving pennies, not dollars, like they were 6, 7 years ago.
Was it
And
that long ago
if
when
we're
the-
saving, they're making money off of us, but if we're still saving 5,000 a year, then it's worth participating.
Yeah, I guess so, I guess so.
That's my feeling, if you want to know.
No, I don't disagree, it's kind of like asking the car salesman, how much are you saving me? You know what I'm saying? We don't know, and quite frankly, I don't want to get into shopping natural gas, but,
No, because I asked him that question. I said, we can tell you to get in your car and
yeah,
go down the road
yeah,
and be a NIPSCO customer
yeah.
for all of our facilities. And then that's where he come up with this,
Okay.
that 1 month was $2,000,
How much of a contract does he want?
3 years.
And Dan's approved that, huh?
You don't have to renew
No,
the
I'm tossed. I mean, it's $7,400 a lot of money for 5 months.
17, 18.
I appreciate that.
It's the same contract that we had before. We have not sent it to Dan. We need to,
Oh, I see.
that's something we need to do. If we approve this, we'll send it to Dan, subject to his approval. whatever
Yeah.
we do.
I got you.
George, what's your feelings?
Yeah, but,
Well, if this can be, if the numbers are to be believed, we're saving $7,000 for 5 months.
Yeah, and the rest of the year, we don't use
The hard
Hard.
months.
Yeah.
The hard, they did put down the hard months, and I appreciate that. That it's November through March, and that's what you want to
the
know.
rest of the year.
A farmer would want to know in the fall,
Yeah,
so,
you know, the rest of the month, the usage is pretty minimal.
yeah, okay.
It's not due.
Well,
But
I'll make a motion that we continue with IGS Energy based on approval of Dan on the contract.
He approved it, he did look at it today, just today.
Yeah.
Yep.
he did. But it's not any different than what he proved 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Same contract.
Actually, our contract started in 1/4/2016, so this is the second year of
It
a
is.
3-year contract.
1/4 to 1/4/17, 1/4/8. Yeah, we're only in
So I don't
second
know
of-
why-
Only second year.
We're only second year of 3 years.
Yeah.
Why don't we have him come back next year?
Well, and I suggested that he come to us and the council, too. The council needs to.
Oh, I agree with that. I like that too.
But I'm not so sure it wouldn't be more prevalent or more beneficial if he came next January or December and wanting an extension from then.
Well, that would make sense, because then we're 2 years into it.
Right.
Right now, we're only 1 year, 1 month, so I didn't realize that.
But we've
All right.
had the same contract.
I know, but it seems like, it's kind of like you subscribe to a magazine, you get one issue, and the next thing you know, you're getting your bill for the next 36 months, and that's kind of the way this feels too, so, I would make them,
I don't think
Can
we
I-
need a motion at this point, do we, to continue? Because we're in a contract, or
We're in a
3-year contract.
right now.
I need to go back and rescind the motion, do I not? I'd like to remove the motion that I made a minute ago.
Okay, we've
Get it
got
off the
a motion
table.
rescinded for the new contract for
Yeah,
IGS Energy.
yeah.
But I appreciated him being here, kind of explaining it a little.
Yeah.
I appreciate you listening to
thanks,
him,
Tom.
because it's just so rhetoric to me. So,
But they're buying the natural gas at the wellhead just like NIPSCO is, and then NIPSCO is involved in a little more, government controls, and then this company isn't, and NIPSCO is not allowed to hedge it like this company does, and they got stuff hedged, they showed us hedges clear up to 2018 already in the natural gas market.
Thank you. Did you have anything else in Tom?
I don't think so at this time.
I just want to discuss regional sewer district a little bit, and that is, I don't know much. So I'm wondering if we could not invite Lana to come and
That'd be
visit
great.
with us, and kind of, I'm sort of the contact point, and I turn in the bills every month.
I know.
What do you do?
But I don't, see, that's what I don't know. So if you don't mind, I would like to ask her to come to the next meeting, if
That'd
she
be
can.
great.
Okay, we just want to know where we are, on the roadmap of life, so.
I do know that they've been making presentations to the sewer districts, as I'm on the board for the Tri-Lakes Sewer District. They did a presentation, she did a great presentation. And they,
And the Busco, and they've been at the
yeah.
my assumption
South
is.
Whitley, I'm not sure. whether
I'm not
they've
sure
been there.
about South Whitley, so.
Now, help me out a little bit,
Yep.
Commissioner. There was a little seed money put up by the county to get
Yep.
this started.
Yep.
Has that been approved by the council?
A year ago. Or-
So is this something that a presentation needs to be made to the council also?
Well, I wouldn't have a
Wouldn't
problem
hurt.
with it.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt,
Yeah, wouldn't have a problem. I believe we're using seeded money,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's a seeded
And that was
project,
approved earlier
Yeah.
though.
so.
But that's why I asked, wondered if they're coming for a presentation,
Well, then maybe I
Should-
could get her to come next month to both.
or,
We're gonna have a commissioners meeting next month.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
First of the month, anyway.
You might.
Or wait till the first Monday in.
Or the third Monday in April would be what we,
The first Monday is when the commissioners, they're in the council both.
Is the council meeting their normal time?
in April, yeah, okay.
Or is that too late?
No, this is an ongoing project.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know what's going on, and I can send her an email and say, hey, tell me what's happening, but I'd rather her come and discuss it in front of everybody.
But I guess she could,
What we're looking for is to get this out of the hands of the commissioner
Right.
and get the board made and move on
Get
somewhere
everything
else.
self-funded.
Yep, get it self-funded, so
so I guess it's up.
why
to
don't I
her.
have her come our next meeting, okay? And
Yeah.
then we'll go from
Then
there.
we'll go. That's
We'll go from
excellent.
there.
That's a
Okay.
good idea.
Okay.
Anything else?
Oh, no, sir, thank you.
The only thing I had, I want to thank Tom for the IGS Energy report that, it was nice to be able to understand that a little bit more. I was in a meeting, a Community Corrections Advisory Board meeting on the 2nd, and I just thought it was interesting. I'd like to present some figures to the commissioners here. We had a report from Recovery Works, which is part of the state, and they keep a lot of good information. As far as the jail is concerned, seriously mentally ill people that are in our jails, 56% of the state are considered seriously mentally ill in our jails. 45% of federal prisons and 64% of local jails, seriously mentally ill. In addition to that, addicted people, we have 74% of state, 64% of federal prisoners, and 76% of local jail inmates are addicted. And I think the one thing that we have to consider about that is the addiction is one thing, and that's probably a part of the seriously mentally ill people, but we're dumping all of our mental problems into the jail system.
Yep.
And when you consider, 64%, it's tough. That's why we have so many lawsuits. Medication in our jails and our system is unreal anymore. They have bags that these prisoners will bring in, and we have to keep track of all that medication. It just,
And then we have to fund that medication while they're incarcerated.
yeah, and we've got liability when we give them that medication, that if we make a mistake, we're gonna get sued for it. It's something we've seriously gotta look at. We don't have a full-time nurse in our jails or community corrections. Community corrections is the same way. They have to control the medications, and not only regular medications, but over-the-counter. It's just, it's a lot of work for our jails and our community corrections. And it's just something that we need to really put forward to our congressmen and our senators to see if there's anything they could do to help us, because it just gets worse and worse and worse all the time.
George, I was on the Passages Board back when K-Fleck ran Passages, and I'll never forget the board meeting when she announced that the state was closing down, if I screw it up, I'm sorry, but I think it was Muscatuck. And Muscatatuck, so they're gonna close down Muscatatuck, and they're sending all the people back to their counties. Here you go, deal with them. We're not gonna deal with them anymore. Find them homes, put them somewhere. Wow.
And that goes back to the whole thing that makes us so frustrating is 70+% are repeat, well, it's the addiction that's causing the
The
repeat.
addiction causes it, yep.
It's not the DUI that you get over.
No.
It's
No.
the other stuff that's giving us the frustrating part now is with all the repeats.
Yeah. I don't know the answer, but,
Well, and here's one of my frustrations, is the state does this, and every year we have to pay over $200,000 for mental rehabilitation.
we don't know what it's for.
But we don't have no
That's
idea. They
really
just
the
make
problem.
us sponsor the Bowen Center. We get no reports from the Bowen Center because of the HIPAA laws. They can't really tell us anything when we do ask for a report. And to me, that's the most frustrating thing of all, because we have no idea. We're putting out the $200,000, and I think it's a great program. I think Bowen is a great program, but I don't even know.
Well, I think a fair question is, why do we have to pay Bowen?
Yeah.
It says we have to pay a mental health facility. Why does it have to be Bowen? I mean, and these are questions we never can seem to get the answers to. And this is mandated by the state. Somebody somewhere said, hey, we're gonna make counties pay for
Some
mental
counties.
health. Is it
Some
some?
don't. I mean, there are very few, but a few of them don't have.
We're up to $200,000 a year. And we practically have to beg them to come in once a year to tell us, what are you doing there? And then they give this 4-color glossy thing, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the county has to pay them for services, right?
In addition to that, yes.
In addition
we
to that,
still
we have to pay them for
services.
services. It's just, the whole thing's bad, and I just think we should sit down with our legislators and ask them to look at that.
Because they're the only ones gonna change it.
They are.
It's not gonna be us.
Because it's the law. We don't have any choice.
Here's another figure that I forgot to add into this. Of the seriously mentally ill people, 64% in our local jails are mentally ill. The general public is 4.1%. For addicted people, believe this or not, almost 1 out of 10, the general public is 8.4% addicted, and 76% of our jail inmates are addicted. Just,
It's like Tom said, the addiction makes them commit the crimes.
yeah. Yeah. It's just, I just thought I'd present that. It's amazing numbers to me that there's nothing that we can do about right now. And
I really appreciate you depressing me even worse than I have been, so thank you very much.
Well, a month or so ago, it happened to be George and I was over to visit the jail.
Yeah.
And the people that was working there talk about the inmates when they get their time served, and then they walk out the front door and light up a joint right out there on the sidewalk after they've been in there dried out for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And where do they get it? Right in front of the jail, they light up another one.
Their spouses will come in and pick them up and,
Give them one. And it's frustrating to the people that work there. It's frustrating it should be frustrating to every citizen that has to pay the tax bill.
well, and another situation that we have right now is the DCS, Department of Child Services, is at least almost doubling the size that they are right now, the number of people that they have in Whitley County here because of the caseload that they've got, which is a cost, again, to the county, to the state.
Is this essentially a rollover from what took place at the end of the Reagan era when it's always been categorized as the mental health institutions were taken offline and the doors opened and people just basically put out on the streets.
Right.
Is this essentially just a rollover from that? And what has happened is that they're not really on the streets, but they've been moved into, and I'm not cutting down on our sheriffs and people in what I'm saying, but they've been moved into a much less effective situation because these are people who have completely different training And.
And we don't have the programs for that.
And, no, they don't have, and they don't have the training for it. They've got training for things that are essential in what they do. But is this basically a case where the institutionalization just rolled over to a new place?
A new institution.
It seems to me then that, that it's, that might be the place, and I don't know how all of us as citizens can get together and do it, but it might be the place where we really bring some true pressure on the legislators and say, look, you did this, maybe not these people, but this was done back in so-and-so years, and there's been a long enough test on it, and it's not working. Let's bring back the other process
Yep.
and get the value out of it.
Well, Stanley, to follow up on exactly what you're saying, they put, go ahead.
Have we reviewed the law that states that we have to pay $200,000 a year to see the guidelines behind that, instead of just giving it to Bowen, if there's a better way, a more efficient way to do it?
There's no guideline. It just, the law simply says you must, and again, I don't know how, I'm not knocking the Bowen Center, I'm not knocking them.
No,
but
I'm not either. I
But
understand
that's who we've paid. I've been on here now 8 years or something. It started at about 150 or so, and now it's 180, $200,000. I guess no. I don't know that I've sit down and looked at it, but I don't think the law's gone. But I appreciate that, and I think we will. I think we will take a look and make sure that's still on the books. That's
But
a
it-
good point.
But it boils down to, it's going to be the tax-paying citizens that do the outcry to get changes made, because
I hope so.
we three can't, and a few people would see the budget for the jail, the court system, and the sheriff's department that you have to help fund every year, even in this little county, it would just make you crazy. If it wouldn't be for that, we wouldn't have hardly any county taxes. And it's gonna have to come from the public, because us three can't do a thing about it.
I still want to follow up on what Stanley said, though. So Stanley, when they closed Muscatatuck, and they said to us as passages at that time, we're sending them back to your community, but we're going to pay you per person. I believe it's called Medicaid waiver. Does that ring a bell with you? This is through the Medicaid waiver program, we're going to pay you to take care of these people. Well, if those people go to jail, why can't the county get the Medicaid waiver?
Well, they should.
I mean, so your point is, if they're paying it out, why can't, if we're housing them, why can't we get the Medicaid waiver? So,
Well, they should, and that's the point I was making when I was
Yep.
talking about the idea that it looks to me like it took and I'll just use the term, not to be inflammatory, but just use the term for a timing placement. It looks like the decisions made in the Reagan era decisions that changed the way the funding was done and so-called opened the doors to the mental health institutions and put people back on the streets. It seems to me like what's actually happened is that problem has rolled over to new people to handle it.
It did.
And they're basically trying to provide the funding for it, and so put the funding there or reverse the thing. Because the reality is, yeah, we all have compassion and we want to try to help somebody who has problems, solve those problems and become functional in much better ways, and whatever it is that causes so many people to use drugs, I don't think has as much to do with the thrill of it as what those masks for them. The things like that, your law enforcement people aren't trained to handle that, and so what's happened is it took the problem and didn't take the cost out of government. it simply rolled it over and handled it more poorly.
Yeah, I probably multiplied the problem, because now you've got the recidivism rate versus where if someone was confined to a mental institution, they would have a longer time frame of some supervision to hopefully get out from under this
Yeah.
before you shove back on the street at the end of your 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or whatever your situation is.
Well, and if nothing else, some level of training that incorporates looking at yourself and becoming aware of what you're doing and how to deal with it from your own self. I don't know.
That's my point of if the guidelines are pretty broad, maybe perhaps it's a good time to go back and review how we're utilizing that $200,000 a year.
They just send us two bills.
Yeah,
Yeah, they send us
Yeah.
invoice twice a month, twice a year.
yeah.
Twice a year. But you're right. We could take that $200,000 and we could really help mental health issues. Really, really put dollar for dollar towards the issues. And we don't know that we're doing that now. I have no reason to believe we are, but I don't know. I don't know, so. Tough thing.
It's a mess.
It's tough,
Yeah.
you know.
105 in the jail this morning.
And think about this, that jail was built for 105, okay? And we're to the limit with our jail right now, so we have to look at what are we gonna do for the future? But the recidivism rate is almost, it's 7.8, or 78.5% recidivism in our jail system. If you took half of that out, we'd be down into the 60 range, and we wouldn't have to look at a $30 million jail. And
Yeah, go ahead.
part of the problem again is we're getting to the point where we've got a great community corrections program, great program. We've got beds for 93 people over there, but with the problems that these people have in jail, we can't fill those beds up.
Well, and that's part and parcel of it, being that they're not the right place to begin with.
Right?
You know, yes, there have been things done that are illegal, and so they're there, but the root cause of what was done
It's not being addressed.
it isn't being addressed
Right.
and would have been handled much better somewhere else.
That's the problem. Nobody goes back to the root cause.
Yeah,
We just keep,
Not unwinding that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tom, I'm sorry, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was, and now it's gone.
Okay.
But anyway, but
I know how that
those,
goes.
but what we're doing here is following the laws that's drawn up in Indianapolis, and we have no choice but to follow the procedures that is passed down there. But they would rather us spend $30 to $40 million for a new jail than address the real problem. If you applied to build a new jail, the state would approve it instantly, and we'd put a $40 million bill on our taxpayers. Well, that's not gonna solve the issue.
It doesn't solve the issue. They just have a new facility.
No, they just got a fancier place to tear up.
Okay, I'll get off my soapbox, but
That's a good one.
It's frustrating because of the situation and it just keeps continuing. There's no stop.
We need to keep on our legislators.
Well, maybe a group like ours needs to have a meeting and just sit around our dining room table and talk with one another and see if we can think of ways that we can talk to some of the legislators in our state, and maybe they can talk to federal, or we can.
I think it needs to be brought
We've got
forward.
other
It
things
needs
done.
to be brought out to the public more than it is.
Yeah.
Well, or in your design your $30 million jail, perhaps maybe it's time to redesign the way we build our jails so that the facility is more apt to the problem by simply incarceration.
Yeah, we need to take care of the problems, not Just send them away somewhere. That doesn't make the problem go away. What you say, 78% are coming right back?
It's a big rush.
You know, so, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a matter
You're
of,
stepping stone between
Yeah.
corrections and jail.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because right now, you're probably aware that our neighboring county, Wabash County, is getting ready to build a new $35 million jail. But it's really not,
Adams County just got through building a
Adams County just moved into
$40
one.
million jail.
And we want to do, we're trying to not burden our taxpayers with another
Trying to look at it a little differently if we can.
$35 million bill over your head, you know. We got a new school that we're gonna have to pay for, and we can't do both things to our taxpayers.
school makes a lot more sense than a jail.
Anything else? Public? Do you have anything?
Do we have a new reporter back there?
That's
Yep.
the new NB
Chair
rate.
Bosco.
Stand up, introduce yourself.
Derek Staley, working for a new paper that's coming out. It's going to be a weekly. It's called In Whitley County. Right now it's running out of Cherubusco.
All right,
Great.
welcome. Linda, thanks for coming.
Yep. Yeah, thank
Always
you.
appreciate you guys being here.
Okay, call for the motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.